connecting. It's everybody good?
We are.
Rochelle doesn't want to miss a 12 o'clock meeting. It'll be fine, Rochelle. It'll be fine.
We're fine.
Hello, everybody. Oh, that's such a good background, EJ. I like that.
Oh,
So,
nice.
You love my panda, don't you?
Oh, nice. I didn't notice. Nice panda. Nice suit.
Yeah.
Victoria's not a fan of him.
Well, actually, your head covers it, so I can't even see.
I'm going to move over so you can see.
Oh, great. Thanks. So we are live. I'm going to make sure that everybody else can see. Hello, everybody. Hope you are well. I am here with EJ and Rochelle. Unfortunately, Liz has had to rush her husband to hospital.
Hope he's better soon.
Yeah, he put his back out. And we're on for 30 minutes. So we thought, do you know what? Let's get this moving. So today our topic is, I'm just going to make sure that it's shared so everybody's got access to it.
Yeah,
so
I can't see it yet. Can't see it.
You won't be able to see it yet because do you know what? It goes in. You'll be able to see it now. So it goes in and it limits itself to an audience of just me, which is quite interesting. There you go, you can see it. So today we're talking about why do we struggle to receive help?
Ooh.
That's I think that's enough and stuff like why do we struggle to receive help? Now, Liz should have been here for this one because I know that Liz organized a Valentine's Day event, and a lot of people, including myself, to be fair, couldn't make it. Now, my excuse was my car broke down and there was no way I could get to Leamington Spa and get home okay. I knew it was just not going to happen, so I didn't go. But why do you think that people struggle, EJ?
I think there is a trust issue. So I'll give from a personal example. I mean, I know there are several nuances and several ways this could play out, but what comes to mind for me right now is I remember when I first moved to the UK.
Yeah.
I don't live in the most diverse part of the world. And people who are nice, very nice, a lot of nice people wanting to show everybody how helpful they are, and you become their project. One specific situation was this lady who kept offering me clothes, her daughter's clothes. I was in my early mid-20s, and her daughter was like early 20s. So they were becoming family friends, and they kept offering me these clothes, and I kept saying, no, honestly, I'm fine. Oh no, come on. So I accepted these clothes, and in trying to be gracious, I wore one of like a coat thing to church to show that, hey, look, like I'm enjoying, this is nice. Thank you so much. And in front of everybody, the daughter basically talked about how she gave me that coat. And where I come from, if you help somebody, be quiet. That's the way I was brought up. Don't go broadcasting, showing how nice you are by look at the wonderful thing I've done for this person. To protect that person's dignity, zip it, sort of thing. So for me to be walking into church and everybody's, oh, is that this person's coat? Oh, I heard this person gave you this coat. Oh, she's really lovely, isn't she? So did you not have a coat before? And I thought, oh, okay, never.
Right.
Never again. So for me, there's a trust issue. I want to accept help, but I'm so scared sometimes of what that would cost me in the long run. I had a premature baby, and so many people helped us then. And I had no choice but to accept it. But even then, within 5 days of giving birth, I was full face of makeup, high heels, clothes, up and about because I want to do it myself. Because I'm so scared of what it will cost me if somebody's helpful to me. So it's a trust thing for me.
And you know what? It's so funny because you can feel the emotion as well. It's like the hurt, isn't it? It's like it's like even though it was all those years ago, you can still feel the hurt and everything else. Rochelle, what do you think? Why do you
So,
think we don't accept help? I mean, I think it's really apt at the moment because we're in a space where we're launching for one to many, and there's a lot of people out there who aren't buying and stuff. And I'm just wondering, I don't want to make it all about one to many, but it's like you're being told that here's something that could help you. Why do you think we're just not leaning into it?
I don't know why people are so resistant to help, but I am actually one of those people. I really struggle to ask for help, so I'll literally be like dying before I will message someone to say, please, will you help me? And I don't know if it comes like I've got a big fear of rejection. So I don't know if it comes from that place you reach out and ask for help and someone either ignores you or they can't help you or whatever. So I don't know if it comes from that place or whether part of it's like I don't want to impose on other people. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to ask somebody to do something that's going to inconvenience them. But then some people I know, like I've got lots of friends who are really happy to help. I think a lot of people have always lent on me for help,
Yeah.
and I enjoy helping people. So it's not that I don't like helping people. So I think that other people won't want to help me. It's just something that I really struggle with when it comes to things like OTM and paid services and things like that. I've got no problem with that. It's more when it comes to getting something for free and taking up someone's time that I struggle. So I don't know if anyone's got any advice for me, but I'm not sure I've got advice for the people.
So here's the thing. I think with EJ's one, it's it's more about giving generously. And somebody may say, hang on, isn't that, like a double barrel meaning of the same thing? And it's not. It's actually sometimes you can give, but you're not giving it with all your heart. You're giving it to be seen to be given.
Exactly.
That is not seen as generosity and all. So basically, giving does not equals generosity at
Mhm.
all. It's like some people give because they feel like they have to give. I'll tell you this, in Africa, if you give somebody something and they can sense, and again, from a place where um intuition, especially in the villages, is really used. If they
Mhm.
feel that it's not well intended, they will give it back to you. They won't take it. It literally it gets bounced back, and that goes right up onto a wedding. Like
Mhm.
if you bring your daughter to get married and they know that your whole heart's not in it, they will tell you to take your child back. Like it's a whole thing, and so because it's that whole thing of it's like EJ
Intention
says,
behind it.
what's it going to cost you? What else is part of that price? Because it's not just you giving me this, it's everything else that comes with it. So in Africa, it's seen as a huge thing. It's like if you give, you give with your whole heart. And if you don't give
Yeah.
your whole heart, then don't give at all. And
Then don't give.
yeah, deals have been broken down because of it and stuff. It's like nobody cares if there's a contract written. If energetically it's not there, we're not having it.
Yeah.
So I think there's that whole thing of people need to stop ticking boxes and do things that align with them, because I think the
Yeah.
more you're aligned with a purpose and stuff, it's like I want to help somebody and Jenna want to help someone. You'll never ever tell people about it. Funnily enough, actually, one of in spirituality, we get told that if you give somebody something, you're not meant to tell anybody else, because the only way for the good karma to come back to you is if you keep it within yourself. You're not meant to tell anybody. When you start telling people, then you dilute the karma. So
Then they say
there's
that's your reward.
yeah, exactly, that's your reward. So it's like you're not meant to even announce it. So announcing it means that you had an alternative intention behind it. And then when it comes to the whole thing around feeling guilty, not not wanting to feel rejected, I think as women especially, we're so used to nurturing that we've been taught to not get used to being looked after.
Yeah.
So we're so we've almost become martyrs in our own story, where it feels good to look after people. We feel like it's brave to look after people and not receive help. And to the point where it could sabotage our lives and we
Yeah.
don't even see it. So that whole guilt and everything else. is really true. And the fact of the matter is, I think women need to start just really leaning in and realizing that you are worthy of receiving anything that you want. But then you've got the rejection aspect. And I tell you what the rejection aspect is, and this is something that stopped me from asking for help. I've overcome that now because I ask for help wherever I can. I don't care. Like I've learned the whole thing of no isn't about me, and no means not now, and that's okay. Like I've reconciled with that. But I've had people who will say, and I have a friend who still says it, and she'll go, "Oh, do you want me to do this?" And wholeheartedly that she has no intention of doing it, that when it comes to wanting to do it, that she'll not want to do it. She'll do it, but you'll know her whole heart isn't in it. But you also have those people who will say, if you need anything, let me know. If you need anything, let me know. So then you think, okay, this person said that, so I'm going to ask. And then when you go and see them, again, energetically, you could tell they just don't want to do it. Like it's almost that whole thing of, I'm hoping that you never ask. But if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and finally, I know I'm speaking a lot, but finally, I was talking to a young friend of mine. He's African, but he's an American at the moment, and he's still very in Africa. We hear what we hear is what you say is what we hear. So we come back to you with the same.
We believe what you say.
Yeah. And I said to him the other day, I said, make sure you keep in touch. And he went, can I just ask you? He goes, when you say keep in touch, he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, give us a call sometimes. He goes, okay. He goes, I just want to make sure. He goes, because when people tell me to keep in touch here and I give them a call, he goes, they're always surprised and act as if like I'm calling them or I'm bothering them and stuff. He goes, and I don't, he goes, and I'm trying not to, offend people. So there's that whole thing where it's like, say what you mean and also reassure people because not everybody believes that what you're offering is legitimate.
That's true. There is also an element of shame because we're all
Mm.
strong women, aren't we? We're all very strong. We're rocks. And there's this pride, like there's this award that comes with, I'm a strong woman, especially if you're a woman of color as well. There's this whole thing of, like you say, we're taught to nurture and we are, the backbone of the family. Wherever we go, you want to be the mother, people lean on you. And that's wonderful. So then, therefore, when it comes to you asking for help, you feel like you failed. I'm the one who gives help. Like you're saying, Rochelle, people come to me for help. And so all of a sudden, when it's your turn to ask for help, somehow something in our mind tells us that asking for help is a sign that we have failed at something. So to show that we are superwoman and to reinforce that strong woman narrative, then we die in silence because we don't want to be seen as weak, because asking for help looks like there's something you've not done right or you failed at something. I wish I could get to the stage like you, Vic, where you say, like you would ask for help. I'm so scared of, and when people say no to me, I'm okay with them saying no. What I'm not okay with is are they okay that they've said no to me? Like, I don't want them to feel like it's now awkward because they've had to say no. I don't want them to feel like I'm going to take it some kind of way. So that's where my worry comes is, please say no to me. I have no problem with that. But are you okay? You do know that when you say no, we're still friends, right? We're still okay. So that's where my issue is.
So I recently asked, listen, it's so funny because my journey of being very self-sufficient. So I used to be really self-sufficient. Like I used to have just in case bags parked in my car. I used to have like literally I didn't need for anything. I didn't ask anybody anything. And what I realized was that a lot of people didn't trust me because I was always so self-sufficient. And I believe that the reason why my life turned around in a way where I had to start learning how to ask was a lesson. It was like you need to start leaning onto other people, and this is how I normally phrase it. And it's not because I enjoy putting this phrase in, but I also want to let them know that I'm okay with it. So I normally say, I have a proposal for you, but please feel free to say no, and no hard feelings. And I put that at the beginning. So I'm like, even if you say no, that's okay. But let's have this conversation. And I tell you why, because I also know how strong my personality is. And I also know that sometimes I'll ask something and people go, yeah, without even realizing they've said it and stuff. So I'm like, I'm like, please say no if you don't want to, because the worst, see, for me, the worst thing than saying no to me is when I ask somebody to say something, and if I ask somebody for a favor or I have a proposal for somebody, then they say yes, even though I've given them the get out clause. They say yes, and then when it comes to doing it, it feels like a limp handshake. That for me, I don't want to know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm
Either
not,
do it well or don't do it at all.
yeah, don't do it. Like, don't do it. Or tell me you've changed your mind, but don't come into it half-heartedly. Because when I've thought of asking you for something, I've thought about it. I know exactly what it's going to mean. I know that I need to be committed to it. I need you to get used to committing to it, which sometimes, and also sometimes I say to people, don't say no, don't say yes now. Think about it and come back to me. It gives them time to go away and come back to me. And also, it's really funny because sometimes they just don't come back to you.
Mm,
And sometimes even just not coming back to you answers the question for you. So
mm, mm.
and normally I promise you this, God will always put something else in your path. Like there's always some other opportunity that comes through straight away going, that wasn't right for you, but this was. Rochelle,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, so I think the thing that's coming up for me actually is that I've helped a lot of people, and people start to take advantage, and it's like you
Mm.
give in and you're comfortable giving, and then they come back for more and you give again, and then they come back for more, and then you're like, okay, this is starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable now. And because I am a people pleaser, I don't want to say no,
No.
this is too much. And that's where I need to put in like my strong boundaries. Like I was happy to give you X, Y, and Z, but now you're taking advantage of that. So when it comes to me then asking other people for help, I'm very conscious of that, and I don't want to be seen to be taking advantage
Yeah.
of their generosity. And it's just knowing where that line is, where you go, okay, half an hour of your time on a call might be acceptable, but actually you're charging other people for that half an hour on a call like a
Yeah.
significant amount of money. So do you know what, even when it comes to people, I said earlier that I'm okay with paying people for the time and things. Actually, even in like masterminds that I'm a member of, and I've got that option to be able to like get in contact, ask them for help, I still hold back. And that's ridiculous. I'm like, I paid for it, but I don't want to take too much advantage. And then you've got other people who sign up for something that's really like not very expensive, and they really make the most of it. They're always asking the questions, and I suppose it's more fool me for not being that person that's jumping and getting all the help I can possibly get. I think I've also got a bit of a phobia of asking a stupid question. And I know people say there's no such thing as a stupid question, but I've definitely heard people ask some really stupid questions before. I know that there is such thing as a stupid question. And I'm like, oh, is this going to be one of them stupid questions? Actually, do I know the answer myself? So I always tend to look like internally first and see if I can solve my own problems before I go to other people. But then sometimes I've just got so much going on that I mean, it made me forget that that's even something I need to be working on. So I
See,
feel like this call's motivated me to be like, right. And I've got one person who he did say is like, make sure you ask me for help. And it's been like over a month now, and I've not messaged him yet, so I'm gonna message him.
so is that the guy we met at EA?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's been longer
Don't
than a
say his
month.
name though.
No, I won't say his name. I can't remember his name, but he that was in October last year that he said if you need anything. So it's longer than a month. I've just called you out
That's
there.
Yeah.
nearly 6 months, Rochelle.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, I saw him again a couple of months ago, and he said the same thing. So this time, I'm like, I need to go for it.
It's that whole thing where Russell Brunson talks about looking for your top 100, like people that you want to work with, people that have offered you help. It goes write it down and then use it as a plan of action. It's a really good way to sort of like really bring your network together. It goes because there's people out there that really want to help you, and if they've said it, then have that conversation. It's almost like getting on a sales call, but even better and stuff because they've already said they'll help you. So but also be specific about what help you need as well. It's like be specific. It's like rather than going, yeah, I need help. And I think one of the reasons why I get a lot of yeses is because I normally go in and say, this is the problem I have, this
Mm,
is the help I need, and this is the part I see you playing, and this is the part that I will play. And actually, it's never normally. I always come back with a way to compensate them financially at the end. I never sort of like go, it's free all the way around and stuff. It's like I always go to get to this point, to get me to the point where I can do. Like I always make sure that there's something in it for them. Like if you're
mm,
doing it where it's just take, energetically it's not right. And also, God, I've got so much to talk about on this. I didn't even realize. I thought this was Liz's topic. But also, if we're looking at it from a intuitive money perspective, which is something that I talk about in my program, if you are not willing to receive somebody's well intended help, then abundantly, whether it's money, relationships, networking, opportunities, they too will start falling aside because energetically, it's like, well, oh, you don't want it. Oh, okay then. And because there's no difference between money, opportunities, relationships, or anything else, it's just seen as abundant. It starts taking it away from people. And funnily enough, I know somebody that's happening to right now, where um they've refused to take help. They're not aligning with relationships and stuff, and it's really, really showing up in their lives at the moment. And you can completely tell where it's come from. So you need to receive to show that you are in favor of abundance, so that things can come into your life. Otherwise, you'll start feeling that you start getting stuck again.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I run a charity. So it's one of them where it's such an interesting, fascinating thing for me to observe.
Yeah.
Because I run the charity because when I traveled to Nigeria, so many people needed help and I finished all my money just giving it all away. And I thought I could do this through a charity, but I'm so conscious that I want the people who are giving, you give me £1, I want you to get a thank you for it. So whoever I give your £1 to, I get them to do a video to say thank you. Now, in doing that, for me, I'm thinking, am I eroding their dignity here? Am I making them pay for what they've been given? But you have to say thank you. So sometimes, because I can run it on my own, the ideas and suggestions I'm getting from everybody, they say, well, we need to put the videos on social media of these people saying thank you. They need to get other people to want to give more. And I'll be honest with you, I thought, oh, that makes me uncomfortable. But I had to go for it. And it has worked. It has worked where when people see a little girl from Africa, saying, thank you, Rochelle. The next thing, Rochelle's brother or sister is like, oh, I want a video of that as well. So I'm going to give £5 as well. So what I've now started to do is to make sure I have permission to say, and listen, if you don't give me permission, you will still get your £5. Okay, I don't want you to feel, because some people come to me privately and they say, Auntie, I need such amount of money. And I'm like, oh, let me see if I can get it for you through the charity. Yeah, but I don't want to do a video. So you don't have to do a video. You don't have to do a video. If it doesn't come up, I'll say, the person that is giving you this money, I can send them a private video, or I could post it on the charity page. And they'll be like, oh, post it on the charity page, no problem. That way, okay, great, I'll post it. But a lot of people will say, I don't, and I get it. Some of my colleagues in Nigeria are angry because, well, if you want the money, then you have to do a public video.
No.
But that's not why we exist. We're not helping. So I think what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is that trust, isn't it? From what I said at the beginning, I don't want to come to you for help if you helping me is not because it's not coming from a place of love.
Yeah. 100%.
If it's a strategy for showing how wonderful a person you are, or if it's a strategy for helping or making me feel small because you've given to me, then I'd rather not. I don't want it.
I think it's more, and here's the thing, I don't think it's that they want to make you feel small, it's that they want to feel better.
Does that make sense?
But
it's a strategy. It's not a love thing,
Yeah, it's like they want to feel better, so they'll tell everybody about it so they feel better, as opposed to making you feel small. But I'm not saying some people can't be that manipulative, but talking about the charity as well, there's other charities where if you don't do videos, then you can have a video to show where the money's going. So it's like, so you can say, look, this is what we've done, or the person that we helped lives somewhere like around here and stuff, and it helps them to do this, or they need water. This is what water, like there's different ways to do it where people can. But again, it comes back to trust because the people who are giving the money, they feel, I know a lot of people who give to charity have felt like when they give their money to charity, they don't know where the money goes. So all of a sudden they're going, well, I'll give you my money because I really want to help, but actually, if you do a video for me, it's reassurance for me that it is going somewhere.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
all boils down to trust. And the fact of the matter is, it's like showing just projects that people are working on and everything else really matter, or giving examples of one person. For example, sanitary towels in Africa. They're not cheap. They're not cheap, right? They're not cheap at all. I mean, I come from Cameroon originally, and when I go to Cameroon and I spend 2 weeks there, I am shocked at how much money I spend. Like I'm paying UK prices in Africa, and it is astounding. And I know that there's people that make so little money that there's no way they can afford that. So when we talk about charity and everything else, it's a bigger conversation. I think we should do a talk about charity, not about how much we give, but maybe sort of like the sort of charities that we can raise
what we feel about them.
Yeah, but also how we can raise attention to these and stuff. And what we'll do, EJ, if you give us the link to your charity, we'll put it to the bottom of this
thank you.
Recording so we can put it in there and stuff. So right, I haven't got my glasses on. What time is it?
It's 11:58, so we're wrap it up.
So we are going, so Rochelle and I are we're going into another call. And Rochelle's so keen to get into this call. It's hilarious and stuff. So we said we'd come in for like 30 minutes.
Well, have fun with it. Nice to see you again, as always.
Thanks so much, EJ. We will see you next week. Liz, I hope Andy gets better soon. And if you can think of any topics that you want us to talk about, let us know. We will bring them here. We'll have that honest conversation. We'll bring our experiences, and hopefully you take something away from it. Speak to you soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye. Bye.